Hey, what's up, y'all?
What's happening, folks? We want to do a really quick video. I had a question. We had a question come in, and look, we're coming from a wedding, and I done taken off all my jewelry, so I know I'm looking real special. I'm just,
You look beautiful.
I'm
man.
keeping it comfortable. Keeping it comfortable right now. So look, guys, hey there, see you coming on. Again, we're just coming back from a wedding and we are on the way home. But I wanted to answer this question. What's happening, folks? What's happening? I see y'all coming on.
Hey, before we answer this particular question, and let me just say this real quick, that we are coming from a wedding and it was absolutely beautiful. There was a challenge though that we were confronted with at the wedding, and I would say I myself were particularly challenged with it. And it was really around this whole diet piece. I posted a YouTube video and a Facebook video a little while ago, a couple of days ago actually, about us doing this 21-day Oz diet. And so,
Dr. Oz
his
diet. 21-day plan. It's basically vegan. It's primarily a vegan plan, and but you can have some meat and some cheese twice a week.
So we're at the wedding, and it's really hard, y'all. Life can be really inconvenient at times, different events and functions that you have, and you just want to splurge and do you and really just get off your ding, so to say, when it comes to being on your diet. But what I realize is that when you got a good partner that's next to you, she'll keep you on point. She'll definitely keep you on point. And so it's actually irritating at times.
Because you was not giving me this energy. You were looking at me like,
it's irritating at times because really I wanted to do certain things. They had the nice little apple pie. They had the cake and they had the nice little, lasagna and with the cheese and all of that type of stuff. And it was just, it was right there in my face and I wanted it. But, the missus was like, no. She said, no, eat the salmon and eat the chicken and eat the spinach and all of that type of stuff. So to make a long story short, we still making it do what it do. It's hard, but we're going to get through these 21 days.
Yes. Okay, so here's the question, y'all. This is a good one. I have a question. This is the email that was sent on how to deal with the situation that's been going through my mind for a while. So my wife and her ex-husband have a child together. Before I came into the picture, they used to have sex whenever he came to pick up his son for a visit.
Really?
Yeah, every time he came to pick him up for a visit, they was getting it in.
But this is before she was in the picture.
Right, before he was in the picture.
Okay.
Right, so he says, but when I came into the picture, all of that stopped. He said he still tries to have sex with her. I talked to her about it, and she told me that if she doesn't play into his sex games, then there won't be any peace between them as of speaking. That's what she said. So I thought this was a good video to do because I wanted to touch on a couple of things, and then I know my husband will have his piece as well. But look, here's the thing. When we have exes, I just want to, first of all, I want to give validity to the fact that when you have an ex, and particularly when you have a child with an ex, right? And we have to stop using the word ex. This is your child's father, right? So when you have someone who you have a child with, it can be very difficult, but it is also very critical for you to stay in relationship with that person, and you need to have an amicable relationship because ideally you don't want to be, not allowing the child to be with the father or be with the mother, whatever, right? And you all want to be decent with each other so that you can model for your child what you want them to see, which is no foolishness, right? So it can be hard, but here's the thing, y'all. Here's the thing. If somebody is coming at you and they're saying, hey, what's up? I'm trying to get some, or whatever he says to her, right? And you know that you ain't for that. You're not about that life. You ain't going for that, right? But you now have, because this is her husband. They're together. You now have a new husband. Then you have to figure out how to, and I tell you all the time, people get really caught up in trying to stay at peace with their partner. Not their partner, with the child's other parent. And I see this a lot of times with men, because a lot of times women have the children, they have custody of the children, and the man wants to see his child, so he tries to endure. That's the best way I can put it. He tries to endure. But in this case, the woman is saying, hey, if he, I don't know what that means. She said straight up, if I don't deal with this in some way, if I don't entertain him when he's coming at her trying to get sex, the ex, you know, then she said if she doesn't play into it, then there won't be any peace between them. And so I just have to say this. At the end of the day, what's your priority? Your priority is your marriage, it is your partner, and it's also having peace and making peace with your ex husband or wife or what have you. At the end of the day, man, you're going to have to set boundaries. It can't be the other person. So some of y'all sometimes out there, you think, oh, I'm about to let her know that we're not going for that. But if that's his ex-girl, ex-wife, he has to set the boundary. Sometimes y'all brothers out there saying, you know what, I'm about to let dude know we're not having that. I'm about to put my foot down. But guess what? They will never believe it if it doesn't come from the person who they were in the relationship with. Yeah. They'll be like, yeah, I know he flexing. Oh yeah, I know she's just going, you know, a little crazy right now because she mad because he really wants me, right? But they won't believe it unless it comes from the person who they had a relationship with. It's the same way with in-laws. I don't talk to his mother about anything and say, hey, I need to kind of set a boundary with you. He sets the boundary. That's his mama. That's the primary relationship. I set the boundary with my parents, right? That's how we do it. Anyone who you are in relationship with, you set the boundary for that person. So what I would say to you who has written in, the person who's written in, and I really want to know what y'all think on this, you have to tell your wife who says she got to play into it. I hope she don't think that means she got to give him some. I'm just going to assume that's not what that means. But that somehow she has to kind of, you know, just kind of tiptoe around that, brush him off, be like, oh, can you stop with that? Go ahead and giggle and try to just keep him moving. That's not going to work, y'all. You can't do that. You got to set the boundary. And then, yes, the risk for her is that there's not going to be peace between them. And now she got to deal with some foolishness, right? Because they have a child in common. But at the end of the day, that's what has to be done. And you, and I know, because the person who sent, I know this is a brother. So black man, let me tell you this. You need to let her know. You need to say to her, Queen, I need you to hold me down right. I need you to represent. This is disrespectful behavior. And I shouldn't even have to even tell you that. But because I'm telling you that, now that you know, I need you to understand that for me, respect looks like, guess what? When you're going to come by and you're going to pick him up, you know what? When at all possible, I want to be around. He could just be present in the room. I would think the brother ain't gonna push up and try to have sex if you're present. There are a lot of really easy, quick strategies you can use to diffuse some of that. But at the end of the day, she got to set the boundary. That's what it is. And she ain't gonna set it if you don't let her know that's the expectation. And that should be a non-negotiable standard in the relationship.
Yeah, so my 2 cents on this particular piece right here is that, you know, the first thing that I'll say is that, you know, she ain't so slick that if she danced in the water, she ain't gonna get wet.
Yeah, but almost home, honey. All right, we
so what I was just saying is that, you know, there is the possibility that if you're dealing with temptation, there's the possibility that you can succumb. And, you know, that's an unfortunate thing and something that we don't want to necessarily take into consideration, but it's something that definitely should be considered, especially if she was doing the do with him before and they have a child together. The other thing that I want to say too that you know should be considered is the fact that she's telling you that unless she pretty much caters into or plays into this whole sex piece with him and flirts with him or does whatever it is that she does, that there's going to be some beef in the relationship between the two and some tension is going to exist. Now here's the thing that I want to say is that, you know, there doesn't have to be beef. There doesn't have to be tension. There's a way to cut through that. I think that the reason why she may be concerned about that is because there may be an aspect of attraction that exists in that relationship still until his death. And so Allende, he's in the back right now.
That's our son, y'all. Let's see Mr. Boo Boo, because he like, you're gonna say hello to me. Hey, hi. Hey, hi. That's the baby.
So what I was saying is that, you know, there may be some element of attraction that still exists, and she's not owning that piece right there, which is problematic for you all's relationship. And so the point that I want to make is this: that really what you should do, she should definitely put her foot down and say, this is my husband, I'm respecting my husband, it's disrespectful what you're doing, this can't happen no more. Now, if he continues to cross that line, what I would say is that the simple solution is for you to actually go over there, pick up, drop off, have a conversation. She doesn't have to necessarily engage him.
Yes, she does, boo.
No. She doesn't have to engage him to a degree where he's allowed to even permitted to engage her in a way where it's actually sexual. What she can do is really cut the contact by reducing the frequency in which she sees him, engages him, and you can step up and engage the dude a little bit more. Again, what you're trying to do is protect and put a shield and put a barrier around your relationship and make sure that you all are taken care of. And she should be doing the same thing. And so if that requires you intervening, not physically, not confrontationally, but just intervening to minimize whatever discomfort she may be feeling, because dudes are going to be dudes, and some dudes just continue to disrespect. But if it requires you to be present and to show up differently, then what I would say is do that. That could be if she's finding it too uncomfortable to engage this dude.
Last but not least, just make sure that it is it's a joint conversation, that it's not something where you're like, I'm putting my foot down and I'm going up over there. You have to be able to talk about it together. Who's the child belong to? Yes, you may be whatever, stepdaddy, but the child belongs to the both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to be able to, as parents, to work some things out that really are between the two of them and that child, and that's what makes it tricky. So make sure that you're being respectful of her role and her process. And you say, baby, it may be that she's still attracted. I mean, it may not be all of that, y'all. Oh, this is a very bad connection. But it may not be that. It may just be that it's difficult because you have a child in common. For those of you who are in that situation, you know what that's like. You know how difficult that can be. We're going to get up off of here. Hey, we hope that this has been of help to you. Sorry it's been a bad connection. Holler at us. Let us know what you think. How do you deal with disrespectful exes? It's got to be a joint process, and you got to have courage, and you have to have constraint. All right, y'all. Stop playing and start pushing. Say bye, babe.
All right, y'all. Peace.